And we're gonna go in 3, 2, 1, and
Boy, that's going to line up perfectly. Hi, Steve Gillmor. This is the Gillmor Gang. We're coming to you from a number of places today, and I'm going to start with the one that's, I think, furthest away, because he probably will have to disappear for dinner in wherever he is, and that would be Keith Teare. Welcome, Keith.
Nice to be here, live from a little town called Hermanus, just outside Cape Town in South Africa.
wow. Definitely the furthest away.
Okay,
yeah, and it is dinner time. It is 8:33 in the evening.
Okay, so for the rest of you guys, the rules are that we need to have you on the screen pretending to be interested or talking for long enough to have a super that we bring in and then drop. So with that in mind.
And I say that that's 8 seconds.
No.
At least.
Welcome to Denis Pombriant. Welcome, Denis.
Who, me? Oh, hi,
Yes.
Steve. How are you? I'm just on the East Coast, but I've got about 15 inches of new snow out that window over there, actually. And boy, does it suck.
That was
it shouldn't
very lifelike.
suck.
Sorry?
It shouldn't suck. It should blow, like in snow blow, like in snow.
Oh,
blower.
it blew.
You
It
have
blew,
it.
but now you know it's like anything else that blows. You got the after effects.
Yeah. Not good.
Well, that reminds me of a homespun tape that Happy Trum's company produced with Paul Butterfield. And basically the dialogue was blow, suck, blow, suck, blow, suck, blow. Thank you.
Oh, that was in
Did
3/2
that have to
time.
do with
Wasn't it?
harmonica?
Yes.
Okay. We're hoping so.
Let's see. Speaking of harmonica, in London is Frank Radice.
Hi, guys. Hi, Steve. I'm having bandwidth issues today, so pardon me if I come and go. That's
Okay,
kind of
that's pretty good.
Suck and blow. All right. Well,
We're going to have
Was
to
it-
turn the mic off. The producer is getting a little randy here. And speaking of randy,
Randy. Yeah. Speaking of Randy.
from the great.
But anyway, I gave you 8 seconds and I looked.
Yeah, now we're on another super that says even more Frank Radice. Okay.
No, I'm done.
From the great state of Atlanta, Brent Leary.
I just voted. I just put my ballot in the mail.
Yay!
So guess what? Somebody put into the Telegram app, I think it was Markman who did it, who will introduce in just a second, as soon as he gets his mic turned on, is something about the 538 media. Is that what the name of it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, saying that the polls have shifted somewhat dramatically toward the Republicans.
Oh,
Are
Does
we supposed to
Breitbart
say
publish
something?
538?
No, seriously, what does anybody have anything to say about that?
I do, but I haven't been introduced.
Oh, okay. So
Whoa, let's be.
joining us from the state of Seattle is Michael Markman.
How do you do? The shift isn't dramatic. It's been very close all week. So the Democrats were just slightly ahead, and now they are tied or just slightly behind. The race is really hard to figure.
Okay, so that takes care of politics. How many days until the moving van arrives?
Yeah.
Was
I
it 34
heard,
now? 33?
Something like that.
I heard his neighbors
Yeah.
down near Mar-a-Lago don't want him to come. I mean, what's up with that?
Yeah,
No,
I saw that.
he signed a contract back in the 90s that kind of makes it so that well, we know how he deals with contracts, but he did sign a contract saying that he wouldn't reside there. And, you know, they don't want his helicopter. Apparently he's got to get rid of his helicopter pad once he stops being the president. They don't want all those Secret Service guys coming and going. They don't want to, I just don't want any more of that nonsense, which is interesting since he was just so beloved by those people.
Well, I'm going to let us just bask in the glow of no Trump.
It should be a dessert.
He's doing everything that he can to. I read today somewhere, I think it was on BuzzFeed. I put it in the on the Telegram that he's having internal conversations about trying to bring back The Apprentice.
Oh, that's nice.
I thought that's what this whole 4 years was all about.
Yeah, it was the Apprentice White House edition.
I think there's a rule that says you never go back to an old girlfriend. He's going to break that rule if he tries to do The Apprentice again. He's got to move on and something new.
Yeah, it's a new show. It's called The Accomplice.
That's right.
Hey, that's
Good one,
sort of
Brent.
like real material. Where did you get
Yeah,
that?
Brent, that was good.
I'm here all night.
Do you have a
Tip
team
the
of
waitress.
writers?
What?
Do you have a team of writers?
No, it's all up here, man. Come on.
Wow. Okay, well, I think we took care of that. So
That's it for politics. We're done.
technology, what's new in the world of technology? Anybody? raise
I
your
got one. I'm
The Brits have.
No, I'm looking at Keith and I'm saying, man, that internet connection is looking good, man. It's strong.
I don't know about that. It keeps bumping me out and then it lets me come back in. So I think Denis has a switch, actually. Every time I say something he disagrees with you.
So here in the UK, there's some serious machinations going down against social media to regulate them, and there's some real stuff going on, and I talking about all the lawsuits that are pending in America. It seems like the Brits just sort of jumped the queue.
Well, that's what I've been predicting for a long time, which is we're going to see social media is going to become the new Muslims. It's like everyone needs an enemy, and it's going to be social media. And I think it's fundamentally dangerous to our society and our civilization to allow governments to get away with that. And I think governments are more dangerous than Google or Facebook in this regard to our freedoms. So I'm definitely on the side of protecting social media, which is another word for us, against those restrictions.
If I didn't know you better, I'd say that was an incredibly paranoid thing to say. You've got almost unanimity in the attorneys general of the United States, and now you got it leaking over into Europe. If I'm analyzing this, I'm saying, you know what? We're reaching critical mass. These bad boys have been so bad, and they've been bad enough that the world is finally coming around to doing something about the way they practice.
It's not even just
tell
the
you the
world.
way I see it is. The way I see it is, governments are the new phone companies. When the internet started, we were all about getting rid of the phone companies by using TCP/IP and software to replace fixed line telephony and toll roads. And basically, governments have become the new phone companies. They're the thing that stands in the way of a global internet that's open and free. And they're threatened by it. Look at Bitcoin now at $23,000.
Crazy.
Their currencies are threatened. Everything is threatened. Governments, currencies, communication systems, encryption. They're running scared of social media because it creates a population that is not viewable or controllable. And I honestly think that the backstory here is governments seeking to preserve their authority and power.
I think
Well, the
government-
governments don't seem to be able to do anything about hackers. The
Yep,
American
that's true.
government seems to, so how about the, focus on something that really matters like that before you go after something that the public is using.
Well, I think the government's been pretty good at being able to walk and chew gum. I don't see why we have to prioritize it. And I also think there's plenty of information already in the marketplace about some of the bad behaviors, and more seems to be coming to the forefront on a very regular basis. There's a lot of smoke here.
Bad behavior in social media.
To be clear, Dennis, I do agree with that. I do agree that social media is its own worst enemy and gives a lot of food and ammunition. But I don't think that's the script. I think that is just, flames on the fire, oil on the flames. I don't think it's the cause. I think the cause is loss of control and lack of authority, which is inevitable with technology, that governments are gonna lose control and authority. And they obviously want to get back in control. I don't know that it's a conspiracy, because I think there's probably a million points of view that lead to this, but it is a convergence of fear against social media.
Nah, I don't
See, I
see
don't
it.
think- I don't think
if
people
you
who
look
use-
at the historical record, hold on. If you look at the historical record, every major modern networked service goes through a very predictable life cycle. Towards the end of the life cycle, after it's been diffused through society, it gets regulated. The electric industry got regulated. The telephone industry got regulated. Your local water and sanitation services aren't specifically regulated because they're run by each town. This is a normal part of the evolution of a network.
Yeah, but what's going to happen? Let's assume it's successful.
Hang on. Somebody interrupted.
Well, I wanted to say that I don't think the people who use Facebook view it as being us. The people who use Facebook view it as being Zuck.
What does that mean?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think the people who use Facebook don't think it's them.
I don't even understand.
I thought it was Zuck.
What does that mean?
I don't think people that are using they don't give a shit about Zuck. The people who are using Facebook are using it as it's a tool. That's how they're using it.
If you distinguish between Facebook the company and Facebook the service, I think both are right. People think of Facebook the company as Zuck, and it truly is, because he made the share structure such that he can't ever be defeated. So Facebook the company is Zuck. Facebook the service people use for their own reasons. Like I just posted that I landed in Cape Town and my sister and her kids just said, "Good to know you're safe" and stuff. So there's a total distinction between the service and the company in the minds of people. And so I think both are correct views.
I got to
makes
step
sense.
away because I got to sign for a package.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let your dog sniff it.
That's what I just did. That's why my
I
dog-
need to
your
step
dog
away
sniff your
for the
package?
same reason. I'll be right back.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
The
It's
new
that
normal.
time of year.
We're all receiving
Package
where we-
arrivals.
That's right.
Scary.
This is where we find out who the popular gang members are versus the losers like me that don't get gifts.
Well, did you leave
My
a
pot
forwarding
guy
address?
is coming to
Keith?
my door in a couple of minutes.
What? Excuse me, I can't hear you both.
I said, Keith,
I
did you
said,
leave a forwarding address?
Exactly.
All right, Frank, your turn.
I just said my pot guy is going to show up any minute now. It's the London delivery.
Oh, I'm so glad we got that in.
Hey, it's legal almost everywhere except here.
Yeah. It's not legal here.
Yes, it is.
No.
Yes, it is.
I haven't done that in 30 years.
It's not.
Oh,
legal.
you mean you pointed to yourself? That was like a,
That's correct.
I'm not legal. Yeah, yeah.
Well, talking of that, I have an 18-year-old here who's desperately trying to find out a way to get a package delivered.
Yeah, and he may be.
Yeah,
staying
don't do
behind.
it.
He'll figure it out. He's very motivated.
Yeah, well.
He just turned me and said it's already.
Listen,
Brent's at the door wrestling, between Ossoff and the senator, whichever
I
senator.
think somebody
it is.
just delivered a bottle of champagne from the Democrats.
But
Keith,
I'm gonna guess in.
start getting worried if he's going to spend his money in Bitcoin.
Keith, are you being called away?
I will be called away to go and cook any minute. So I wanted to drop in just to see you guys, but I'm not going to stay for the duration. And you can tear my opinions apart now when I leave.
Oh, we've already done that.
Yeah, but you didn't see it.
Excellent. So enjoy your show. I'm sure I'll see you again next time we do one.
Enjoy your time in South Africa.
I will. Bye.
Bye.
Okay.
And then there were 4.
So now we don't have to talk about that anymore. Unless,
Oh, you'll miss it.
no, you go ahead.
I was going to say I did a very interesting thing last night. I did the the site and the newsletter Recount, the one that John Heilman does. It was they did a Recount 2020 last night where they, basically it felt so much like Gillmor Gang. It was crazy because there was a whole lot of people on this Zoom call, but you couldn't talk. Only Heilman and one of the co-founders from Recount were doing the talking, and it was somewhere between Gillmor Gang and MSNBC. It was really good though, and because Heilman's a brilliant guy, and Seth Rogen came on, and he and I ended up sort of battling each other with going at each other for in disagreement with Heilman on one thing. I can't even remember what it was, but I felt like I ought to take the contrarian point of view just so I could battle with Seth Rogen because I thought that was fun.
So was this in text that you were participating?
Yeah. You watched the two of them talk, and then you texted questions, or you in one place there was a place for Q&A, and another place there was a place just like ours for text on the right side of the screen. The Q&A came up in a separate box right in the middle, and then they occasionally went to the questions after it was over. Hey, don't yell at the dog. Stop yelling at your dog. It was sorry, it's not my place. It was interesting. And then after it was over, they did like a breakout room where they went off and started answering the questions that people had sent in. So it was pretty cool. Just to get to interact with Heilman, I enjoyed that a lot. That was fun.
Well, that
Not as much fun as Gillmor
oh
Gang, I
no,
gotta
stop,
say.
please. This isn't fun. This is a job.
A job which we don't get paid for.
Yeah, do it.
What?
Do it in 60 minutes tonight, and why Brent will be so
The check
happy.
didn't arrive. Wow, I wonder who
No.
got your check.
Neither did the shirts
The
or the
coffee
hats,
mug?
For the mugs,
We've had a
no mugs either.
coffee mugs.
We've had a problem with that, my Fuhrer suggests. What was it? What was it? The problem?
Well, the company that I got it from isn't offering that particular thing anymore. So
Oh,
What,
So,
the
yeah,
Trump
but-
and
yeah,
Trump
yeah.
organization? I mean, come
Oh,
on.
yeah.
man.
Trump
Yeah.
mugs, Trump
figure it out.
steaks,
Trump
I
shirts.
figured out.
Trump
with
shirts.
your-
Try Zazzle. Zazzle has a really good service, and they're inexpensive.
Okay.
Zazzle.
I'm waiting for the mega hats. Make Gillmor Gang great again.
Yeah, we're working on that. Not the hat. We're working on making it great again.
MGGG. Gillmor Gang great.
Hey.
G-A.
Yes.
McGee.
Speaking of things like that, did you all catch the fact that somebody hacked Trump's Twitter account?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, with a really stupid password, wasn't it? It was
Really
like
MAGA
MAGA 2020.
2020.
But did they actually tweet anything? Because I didn't notice anything different, from the tweets. Or
I don't know how you would.
How could you tell?
yeah. No.
What's the difference
Yeah.
between what Trump does and random? Very little.
Randy?
Random doesn't come across as drunk.
Random may be a lot more coherent, actually.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too.
Well, you guys saw that the two guys drinking beer that they put Trump's voice on the one guy as he got drunker and drunker and just took speeches. It was absolutely hilarious. It was I don't know if you've ever seen that. If not, go to YouTube and look it up. It's called Drunk Trump, I think. It's just
Is
hilarious.
that when they slow it down? Like they slow it down?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. This is these two guys sitting there and they're drinking beer, and one guy's talking to the other guy. The other guy never talks, and the guy that's talking is just repeating Trump speeches, and it's hilarious. I can't even begin to tell you how funny it is. You need to check it out. That's I got nothing else. This feels like a holiday show.
Have you guys
It
talked
is.
about the Facebook versus Apple beef that's going on? Or-
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Enlighten me.
Go ahead.
I haven't heard about this one.
Well, basically there's a move underway to obsolete, what is it, third-party data? Is
Yeah,
that-
you know what? Google's already cutting out the cookie stuff, and I think Apple is going way beyond that because, well, they sell products, they don't make money off of ads, so they don't care. I mean, so they're like giving Facebook the business over their stance on all this, privacy and cookies and all that, because that's how Facebook makes their money. And Apple is just like saying, hey, if you really want to be serious about this privacy stuff, you got to go beyond what you're doing. And by the way, what you're doing, somebody actually sent me a tweet of I think when you sign up on something on Facebook, it's a tweet that shows just how many things Facebook is actually able to track and all the data they could collect. It was like well over 100 little things that once you sign up for that Facebook service, they're able to basically track all this different kind of stuff.
Well, what I found fascinating was Facebook's spin on it. Apple is trying to restrict Facebook's access to data, and Facebook is saying they're doing that as an attack on small businesses, because if you attack Facebook advertising, you're crippling small businesses' ability to reach their customers.
I just did a live stream conversation with Facebook's VP of small business, and small businesses are really turning to Facebook ads. I mean, it's cheap. There's a lot of data, so you could target, and they're taking full advantage of it. So maybe there's a little bit of something to it, but that's not the reason. That's not the main reason.
Facebook Marketplace is free for the most part.
Yeah, there's a lot of free tools, and it doesn't cost a lot to to do Facebook ads, and you can target pretty directly because of all that data they have. So you're seeing a lot of small businesses take advantage of that.
There is a lot of tech legal stuff going on right now, and there's also a bill was put forth to go after stream pirates today. I think it was today. Anybody who pirates streamed programs, if you're pirating streamed programs and then restreaming them, they're going to come after you. That's pretty much.
Can I ask a specific question around that? I think I might be a stream pilot now.
I may not be
that
able.
definition kind of fits me because we just did. Well, actually,
You know what? I think that they're talking about, you know, taking a Netflix and then that you're paying for, and then restreaming it for free out to other people.
I'm not doing.
I think those are the you know, I think that's one of the big issues. But I think that, you know, look, if you think back to when cable TV started, and if you didn't pay for your cable, if you put out a wire, if you got one of those robot boxes, or you attached a wire to your neighbor's cable by using a coupler, they could come and get you. And everyone was, at least in the early days, I know I was pretty worried about that. Didn't keep me from doing it, but I was pretty worried about it. And then, you know, and then of course, God, I'm really just telling it all today, aren't I?
That was really.
Then of course
funny.
there were CDs that you know, that
Bootlegs,
Sony, for example, bootlegs. But
Yeah.
Sony actually tried to put a security system on Sony's CDs, which crashed Sony's sales because they were trying to rights protect their stuff, but people didn't want rights protected stuff. They wanted to be able to make a copy of a CD so that they could create a song list. And then, of course, we all did that.
I had a cousin, like, I'm not gonna. I have a lot of cousins, so there's no way to tell which one I'm talking about. So I had a cousin that if you wanted to get a movie before it even hit the theaters, this dude or dudette had like everything, every video you wanted. I mean, like it was a blockbuster Christmas movie. We were watching it like the week before. You know, a little shaky. The hand has a little shake to the video. But it was that.
And somebody was in the seat fly. But that's another story.
You lucked out there because basically.
Okay. Well, I locked out right when I was talking about a guy standing up and pulling up his fly.
There's something about the delay on the show that's really, really hard to manage.
Is that what it is? Is that what they call it now?
That's what she said.
Yeah, that's what she said. Dennis's
Okay.
lips are moving, but I can't hear anything.
I'm talking to myself.
I thought you were talking to your cat.
No.
Go ahead.
Cats aren't here, dogs here. No, I was just going to say, Michael, I think the clock behind you is broken. It doesn't move.
That's true. Yeah, I have software that animates it, but it doesn't work in Zoom.
Can you speak a little closer to the mic? I'm having a hard time hearing you.
You can't hear me? Is this any better?
That's good. Yeah, this is getting funnier by the week.
I just want to understand the video technology involved, because you're in color and everything else behind you is Wizard of Oz black and white.
Yes,
That's right.
that's the Seattle look.
It's not Kansas anymore, evidently.
Not the Chicago way.
Okay, so have we solved any significant problems so far?
All of them.
Yeah,
Ooh,
I just want this. I just want to see the Democrat.
Whoa,
Yeah.
that was
In
He's
English,
frozen in time there.
Try again, Frank.
I don't think he's there.
yeah. Oh boy.
So somebody else talking. There he's back. We missed you.
Care about nothing else. Period. Zip.
serious bandwidth issues, Frank. We hold up signs.
Yeah.
Yeah, channel Bob Dylan.
Or the Martian.
Yeah, the Bob Dylan reference actually is apropos. What Sony, who bought CBS, finally did about bootlegs was to start releasing them, and they're now a huge profit center for Sony Records. The Bob Dylan bootleg series. I think it sells more in some cases than his, modern releases.
I heard
Hey, did you
that,
see where Lil Wayne
Lil
also
Wayne-
sold his catalog?
Just saying, I was just saying the same thing, but probably bandwidth. Lil Wayne, yeah. But he only got 100 million for his though. I
Is
can't.
that all?
I can't name a Lil Wayne song. I'm sorry, I can't.
Who's
Did you ever
I
listen
can't-
to Stormzy?
I have not listened to Storms yet, but I am definitely going to. I can't name a Lil Wayne song either because are we under FCC rules or?
Nope.
You can
Not
say
so far.
Scissor if you want to. You,
That's okay.
you can,
We'll
You
keep
can
the
talk
show
about
PG-13.
Stunned.
This
he's
is
trying to figure out what
this is
Scissor
the PG-13 version. It's complete silence.
We just did The Sound of Silence by no.
Simon without Garfunkel.
Without Simon. Simon without Garfunkel, without Simon.
Without anybody.
Hey Brent, I hear the Jets are going to beat the Rams this weekend.
I have no comment.
I heard from the Saturday Night Live said the Jets already beat the Rams in the game they haven't played yet.
That's about the only way they'd ever win. Have the Jets won a game this year?
Not yet. They're really going all out to lose every game they can. To get that number one pick.
They're playing for the draft pick now.
Yeah. There's a saying for that.
Did you see the? Go ahead, say it.
Did he? Oh, no, I thought you froze. That's why I'm so used to you.
I know. Did you see the Newsmax version of sports SNL this past weekend? It was called Sports Max, and they had the two anchors were literally going at it about how the Jets were winning every game, had won every game, were winning. It was hilarious. It was so Newsmaxy.
So they got alternative sports facts now. I mean, this is getting out of hand.
No,
It's very Trumpian.
Only on SNL.
Are we tired of the Jets
Yes.
winning?
Are we tired of the Jets?
So much winning.
Very stable.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess I'm going to wrap this one up if we have
Wow.
no objections. What? Oh, I'm just saying
35 minutes.
it feels long.
Steve, what's going on in California this week?
Oh, bad things. It's the best of worlds. It's the worst of worlds. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the vaccine news seems to be pretty substantial. Bridging the gap between where we are now and the vaccine seems to be
Grim.
grim.
Oh, I
Well,
don't
did
know.
we hit like 3,200 unfortunate
34.
people dying over 3,400? Yes.
Yeah, something like that. And the basic fear is that well, I mean, my fear is how do we get past the people that really need it, which are the frontline people, and how do we
Politicians.
I think the politician part is being eradicated by the inauguration, but the difficult part seems to be the fatigue problem. People are just so fed up that it would be a real shame if people let their guard down in this time frame.
Well, Christmas is like 5 days away or 6 days away.
Yeah, I think
They're gonna do.
I
They
think
did it-
Thanksgiving brought a lot of people to their senses about do we want to have Thanksgiving ever again? Can we deal with a scaled down holiday. I think that that'll happen with Christmas as well.
Mm.
Well, a lot of people did come to their senses, but a lot didn't. And, we haven't yet seen the death surge Thanksgiving. We're seeing the case surge from it, but we're a week or two away from the, and then, the more virus that's out in the population, the higher the transmission is. That's what the R tells us. So when we build Christmas on top of where we are when Thanks, I mean, it's just horrendous is what's going to be happening.
And New Year's. And New Year's Eve.
Here in the UK, they're in what's called Tier 3 primarily, which is everything is shut down. But they are going to open everything up for 5 days during Christmas. The 5 days that lead up to Christmas, which is, to me, look, I understand it from the perspective of the businesses that make a large percentage of their money during the Christmas holiday, but being shut down completely and then opening up for 5 days and then shutting down again just seems crazy.
Yeah,
I
it does.
agree.
I don't get that. That's a lot of pressure from small business lobbyists or big business lobbyists, I guess.
Well, it's not a scientific solution either. I mean,
No.
I mean, the scientific solution is to print money and send it out to people.
yeah, pay people not to work, pay people not to go out. That seemed to work pretty well over the spring. Yet we don't seem to have a national legislature in the United States that can get that done again. And it's bizarre. It's bizarre to think that people are in the legislature are voting against the people that sent them to the legislature, their own constituents. I don't get it.
Well, where are we with that now, Dennis? Last I heard, it was they were going to give $600 and they were going to increase by $300 a week. Was it or is that a month for unemployment? They were going to extend unemployment, but then and Trump had to be talked down from or off the edge of the cliff because he wanted to give $2,000 to everybody. I read that somewhere today.
Well,
But I have no idea what's going on with it right now.
well, apparently there's a new hold being put on it by the GOP. They keep wanting to insert things that the Democrats wouldn't otherwise agree with. And their latest demand is that they put a provision in that will prevent the Fed from helping to boost the economy under Biden. They want to put restrictions on what the Fed does. So, they were at the point of a deal. They managed to get the Republicans to drop the liability demands that McConnell was holding on to. And they lowered the amount of the stimulus check. But now the latest I heard is that there's a new hiccup.
You know what I don't get is that, there continue to be hiccups. We started 8 or 9 months ago talking about a $3.4 trillion stimulus. It got dropped to 2.2. It got dropped to 1.8. We're now less than $1 trillion. And I, for one, would love it if somebody would present an itemization of what we need rather than what we're spending. In other words, internally, they're talking about so much for unemployment, so much for rent assistance or whatever, but they're not publishing those details anywhere in the papers. And that should be available information. And what's really unfortunate about that is that we don't get to make the comparison between the $1.98 that they want to give to, say, state and local government and the billion or $1 trillion that they need to actually be effective. And I think if the Democrats were smart and could publish that kind of information, there would be a lot more pressure on the Republicans to come to a deal.
They need to hire you, Dennis.
Well,
Who are the people that are most at risk here? It's lower and middle income Americans, right?
yep.
That's probably some portion of the 160 million people who voted in this last election, right?
Would have to be, yeah.
So they can mobilize to vote. Yeah, they can mobilize to vote. Why aren't they mobilizing to get this done?
Why indeed?
I don't know why I'm asking that question.
Well, my answer would
Exactly.
be they're waiting for the moving van, basically. I mean, that seems to me to be the.
I think some of them, I think, aren't there some of them that are waiting for not the moving van? I mean, isn't there still a large number of people who?
I'm sure that's true numerically, but I am not convinced that how the Trump base goes has much to do with anything right now. I think that, you know, they're being used by Trump as a fundraising vehicle. I think that the movement on the part of people like Steve Schmidt leaving the Republican Party and actually joining the Democratic Party is where the action is starting to be. It's not, you know, when are the Republicans going to abandon Trump? It's that will not happen. But when the Republicans start abandoning each other is underway. And, you know, I think people are just realigning.
Well, why is it then that there are so many, that there's the 126 Republican congresspeople, that whole coalition of Trump didn't lose? And isn't there a senator now, Turtletaub, something like that, who said he's seriously considering being the lone senatorial voice that they need to bring this thing to a vote, which McConnell says even if they bring it to a vote, Trump's still going to lose. It's going to make Trump look bad. So don't do it. It just seems like the whips aren't being able to whip their people. That's what it seems like.
I mean, the problem is the polarization in the
Tommy
population
Tuberville.
is such people who are dependent on Trump voters to stay in office. And they're all putting down markers for the 2022 election and the 2024 election. They're not really loyal to, but they are loyal to Trump's base. They've put up that segment of the population to a point that they're necessary. The division of our information into these siloed branches, where the right has talk radio, has Parler, has algorithmic silos on Facebook and YouTube, means that there's a large population that can't be talked to by anyone rational. They're all in their own little bubble.
Yeah,
it's funny how the whole idea of the right-wing talk radio and the power that it has, and how much power it's had for a very long time, and you know, we know about it, but people are now starting to point at it and saying, wow, those guys have a lot of power, which I find to be interesting because, you know, they've had it, especially down in the South. I mean, you know, I even found myself listening to right-wing talk radio when I was driving in Florida for the 3 years I was living down there, just because it was entertaining.
You know, Tom Hartman, who's one of the few progressive talk radio personalities, points out that there's something about radio that's different from every other medium. That you have built up a relationship between the host and the audience over years and over decades, and it's really a trust thing. And there's a kind of intimacy about that voice that talks to you and presents the world to you every day, every week, for year after year after year. That's something that no other medium can approach, not even Fox TV.
Well, yeah, radio
and that's why Fox
great.
TV hired a bunch of those people.
Yeah, but the difference is for radio, you have like a 3-hour radio show or whatever. A lot of the times you're taking calls from these people. I mean,
that's
listen to a lot of sports. Yeah, I listen to a lot of sports talk. You know, down here in the South, you got to, and you'd hear the same people call in all the time. It's like, you know, the old Cheers. everybody knows your name and you feel like you're at home. And the talk show hosts talk to these folks, and they get to know them to a certain extent. So yeah, you build up
and
something a lot
even
more.
if you aren't a caller, the people who do call are your surrogates, and that old world community really comes into play, and you just have this sense that these are our people.
But I
and
think you're
it's very
starting to
hard-
see that
very hard to
replicated,
move
though.
into that world.
No, I think you're starting to see it replicated with the streaming stuff. I mean, now we don't necessarily do that here at Gillmor Gang. We don't, because we're recording for it to be released on, TechCrunch. But a lot of the streaming that I do, I'm always incorporating, comments and bringing people on. And you do, I mean, you have people that are there every week. And they talk about how they look forward to it. It's little communities start to pop up around this stuff. So you are starting to see that happen.
Do you, Brent, do you send your streamed video programs out as audio podcasts only as well?
Yeah. So for one of the things I do, I've been doing this one-on-one conversation series for a site called smallbiztrends.com for a decade. It started out as, audio recordings. And then it moved to, podcast kind of, and then it moved to, video recordings, and now it's live stream. And then the recording of the live stream turns into, a post. I get a transcript, an edited transcript. I take the audio from it, strip it out, and put it into SoundCloud, which feeds into iTunes and Google Podcasts and all that stuff. So yeah, it's you kind of take it from here and then you move it along, but all the while
you brought it all the way back to the beginning is what you did. You made it full circle.
I guess so, yeah. So, but that it allows for the interaction to be part of the whole experience, I guess.
It's funny the whole idea of the loyalty to the individual, to the Rush Limbaugh or whoever it is, makes so much sense. There are some experiments happening now that I'm not quite sure, because they don't have that, are going to work. Netflix, for example, is now talking about doing audio presentations of Netflix programs. Now, I know they do a lot of podcasts, and they do a lot of video content that is not scripted dramas, for example. But they're actually talking about taking Netflix programs and turning them into audio programs, so that when you're in your car, for example, you won't miss that episode of Star Trek Discovery that you were watching last night and didn't finish, or you were watching Law last night, you got up in the morning and you listened to Order. That's an old one, by the way. That's an old. You like that? I thought, Michael, you like that?
Well,
That was good.
yeah, I'm a sucker for the old ones.
Yeah.
So Law and Order,
Somebody.
This is 2 weeks in a row that Law and Order has been featured on the Gillmor Gang. Seems to be a subtext.
I like that.
Yeah, that's right. I was telling you the story about my cat who had fallen out the window in France, and I sat and watched all the Law and Order episodes with him. Did he care? I don't think so. Right, Dennis? They don't care.
Sacre bleu. I don't know. Cats. I think there's a big difference, by the way, between male and female cats and how they deal with humans.
Really?
I think. Yeah. I think the males tend to, I think, to be very, very affectionate and docile, and the females treat everybody badly because they've,
Well, I might bite my tongue on that one.
Yeah, really.
There's
There's a lot of dead air here now.
cats.
Yeah, cats. You're talking about cats.
They're all alpha. They want things. I have 2 female cats. They don't get along with anything. I have
They
one
get along
male,
with each other?
and No,
No,
That's-
They
that's
sound
one
like
of the-
social
that's
network.
one yeah, probably, yeah. It's the Meow Network.
meow more than ever.
So,
Meow.
yeah, somebody said earlier that this felt like a end of year show,
Holiday show.
a holiday show. Yeah.
That
So,
was me.
yeah. So, what was your favorite binge series this year?
Ooh.
For me, it was The Mandalorian.
Why?
Did you watch the finale?
I sure did, and I'm not going to say a word about it.
No, don't you dare.
Is
No,
this the
I
finale
won't.
of the
But I'm
second
telling
season
you,
or the first?
Say again?
end of the second season. I binged the second season. But the thing about watching, it's not quite the same as a binge with The Mandalorian because it only came out with a new episode every Friday. So you would have had to have waited for the 13 episodes or 12. I think it was 9 episodes actually in the second season. You would have had to have waited to the end of the season to actually binge it all the way through. What I did was I watched it every Friday. So interestingly enough, it was kind of like a old-fashioned watch a network show, except it wasn't at a specific time. You watch it when you want to watch it. But just because you asked, I went back and rewatched Goliath, which was really great. It was just great. I'm just biding my time for the next episodes of the next season of Bosch,
That's not
which I think is coming in April.
Isn't that the last season that's coming in April?
Yeah, the next season coming in April of Bosch is the last season,
Okay,
I
so
feel terrible about that because
Frank,
I'm
have you
listening
watched
to
have you watched the gallery series on The Mandalorian?
I haven't. I'm going to start doing that. I hear it's really good.
It
What
is
does that
very
mean?
good. The production techniques that they're using are revolutionary, breakthrough technologies.
I know about the production technology because I actually brought that into a discussion I was having at the Savannah College of Arts and Design, where we were talking about below the line production and how they were doing it with their automated full room background screens of imagery that moved with the cameras. It was really fascinating and seems to be the new way of producing. It's not green screen. It's actually
Yes,
It's not green screen. And you broke up.
it's
Now, I guess the network does
Let-
not
let-
want you to reveal
let
this.
Mike-
I can reveal it. I can reveal
Thank
it on US bandwidth. It's LED video screens. So what used to happen is that you'd put up a blue screen or a green screen and add the backgrounds in post. Here, they pre-produce the backgrounds and actually show them as video on giant video screens that wrap around the entire wall
Wow.
and the ceiling. So
The characters are
instead of
interacting with,
staring into the middle distance, trying to react to something that they can only guess about. The actors are actually visual environment that the viewer will be in, and not only that, but these backgrounds are produced volumetrically with video game technology, so that they are synced to camera moves. So the perspective changes and the parallax changes. So if you have a moving camera, the background will move, and it does all kinds of things. I mean, it helps the actors. So if you have 4 people in one environment, they're all looking at exactly the same thing. They're not trying to guess at what they're looking at. They're not looking at tennis balls. And you have reflective light coming from the backgrounds onto the actors. So it produces a much better effect for the viewer, and it's much cheaper to do. It's an amazing breakthrough in getting this stuff done at a budget.
Frank, just so you know, I don't shave anymore. He just licks my
amazing
face.
technology and cat butt. It's amazing technology and
Yeah.
Wow, I heard
Crossing
that
the
purr.
Ford.
It's actually stunning. It's stunning.
Yeah.
It's technology which can just stun you to
It
silence.
freezes you into quiet.
Hey,
Okay.
guess what, guys? We're coming up on an hour. How about that?
An hour of nothing.
Amazing
We're
things
going to
happen
call
at
this
that hour
episode
mark.
Seinfeld.
It's just like Seinfeld, yeah.
Oh well, if we're doing Seinfeld and it
Ask
is
other
the
people
holiday
about what
season-
they're binging so I can hear.
Yeah, I'd like to hear that. Brent.
I had a couple I really liked. Queen's Gambit was really good. Pennyworth on Epics was great. I really liked that. And there was another one on Epics too.
You're helping
Those
me
are
out
probably-
there. You're helping
Oh
me.
yeah?
Yeah, because the season 2 of Pennyworth just showed up, and Tina's attitude is,
I like Pennyworth. Pennyworth. How do you say it? Is it Pennyworth?
Pennyworth, I believe.
Pennyworth.
Anyway,
I thought the first series was great, so I'm really looking forward to the second one.
Okay, Michael Markman.
I've actually been following Frank's lead. I've been watching Discovery and The Mandalorian, and I guess I have to go through Goliath now.
Well, Goliath is the first
the first,
major series that shows a CPAP machine being used with dialogue.
Well,
yeah,
Billy,
Which-
Bob.
yeah,
whatever
pretty
his
cool.
name is. Yeah.
That's great.
I was trying to tell whether or not he actually uses it or whether he looks like he's never touched it before. But that's just the acting part.
Was there a Bosch this year?
Yes.
That was pretty good. I remember that. I like Bosch, so that was.
Well, that was the breakthrough for Denis.
Yeah, you know, I watch what you guys tell me to. So I binged all of Bosch, all 6 seasons this year,
Wow.
and that was good. Binged Nurse Jackie, and to get through election season, I binged the entire West Wing, 7 years worth.
Wow.
Yeah, I did that.
That's
We
a
did
lot.
that.
Yeah, just to remind me what a competent government looks like.
That's right.
Right, and it almost bridged reality to the point where we are now.
Oh yeah, I mean the last season has a lot about the transition, and you can be forgiven for thinking, "Oh, this is what's going on. They're talking to each other. They're having meetings. Oh yeah, this is really. I feel good about this." No, no.
It's just a TV show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You mean Zoom?
Yeah, that.
Well, what else?
All right.
We saw Nurse Jackie, all of Nurse Jackie. That was good. We just finished The Crown for this season. We're moving on to some of the other things you're talking about. You know, so you're having a positive effect on me.
Well, where does the time come from? That's what I want to understand.
The time?
Yeah, is it just nighttime?
Yeah. Just after dinner. And, you know, we watch 1 or 2 shows a night, and, you know, over a period of months, it adds up. I want to watch Citizen Kane this weekend, just to.
I watched Mank.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like Mank. I liked Mank more than I thought I was going to like Mank.
Definitely
love
a
Mank.
slanted.
Although a lot of my friends were very disappointed. I'm not sure why. I think they wanted to see more Orson Welles and less Herman Mankiewicz.
That would
You
have
know,
been called or something. I don't know.
I can tell that Mank is really good, but I have a very hard time hearing it. They're so fast, and it seems like they swallow half their words.
There is a good article in the New York Times that explained who the various historical characters were in that film. And one in particular described a scene where most of the people of the Algonquin Round Table appeared, and it went so quickly in the film that it was incomprehensible.
Was that the Christmas scene at the Hearst Castle?
No, that was a scene in the writers' room, I think at Paramount.
Right.
Where all of these New York writers had been enticed to come to California to make a fortune. And you know, they're all famous names if you follow the cultural scene of the U.S. in the 20s and 30s. They are not famous names today, unfortunately. I mean, there's a whole lot of
George
stuff.
S. Kaufman, for example.
You know, you need footnotes, or you need to be old to understand what's going on.
Yeah.
Some of that was some stretching though. Wasn't Mac like 43 when this was all going on, and Gary Oldman is like 62, and the I forget the female lead. They were supposed to be like kind of close in age. Mank
They were all
and that
yes.
female lead. And she was
Both,
like half his age.
they were all born in 1897.
He was an alcoholic, so it you know, it worked out.
Yeah, he could have been a very old-looking 40.
Yeah, he was.
Hey,
That was
is
really drunk a lot.
that a Gillmor Gang cup I see?
I was just going to say that.
one of the originals. And then there was the okay.
Yours is in the mail.
That
You
reminds me of
you might get
something
it
I'm
next
not
year.
talking about. What?
Said if his is in the mail, that means he might get it next year. The way this mail is going.
Well, I think the question is which will come first, the mug or the release of last week's show?
Oh my! I was going to ask you, when's that coming?
It's coming.
I think that was a clue,
Yeah.
Frank.
Yeah,
I think the problem is that it's that you have to write something pithy.
that's one of the problems. The other is trying to be, providing some useful value, which I think I'm going to deprecate in favor of just winging it.
You said deprecate, right? Just want to make sure.
Deprecate, not defecate. He didn't say defecate. The content of that show last week was stood on its own merits. I thought last week's show was really good.
Release
But
that.
I have the hardest time trying to I have the hardest time trying to write 500 or 600 words twice a week. So I feel really good watching you come out with some really great stuff each time you publish. I think though you're publishing, it's about once a week, and you're writing, it looks like about 800 to 1,000 words. It's not a small amount of stuff. That's a lot of writing. I can't do that. Dennis, I'm jealous of the amount of writing that you can do.
Well, Denis is a machine. He just the output is extraordinary. It's kind of like Brent's output on live video.
Well, video's a lot harder.
I am in awe of all of you, and mostly I'm in awe of that cat. Sorry, Dennis.
I like this Mystery Science Theater kind of vibe that you're giving us, Frank, since we have no video of you. It's kind
But
of
at least I'm not freezing. What do you got there, Brent? Is that something just got delivered to you?
This is my Christmas present to myself. Apparently, this is speaking of video.
Oh,
what is it?
Oh man, it's the Blackmagic camera.
Yeah, the 6K version.
And the 6K is for what reason?
It's more than the 4K. It's two more.
Yeah,
It's two more.
AK. 2 more strikeouts?
That's
Ew.
you're going to buy all the kit that goes along with it, the reflex lens extender, the matte box.
I've already got the lens.
Oh man! So you can make a feature film with that camera.
I'm just gearing up for the improvements to Gillmor Gang next year. That's all.
And how's that going to manifest itself?
I thought you were going to demand that we have like a certain level of equipment.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Demand that we have better bandwidth. I'm just going to go somewhere else next time. I'm going to use the local Starbucks.
Wow.
Great bandwidth there.
Well, Keith came in from South Africa on like about 4K of, he was sipping off of a community feed there, but it worked pretty well.
That's what I'm doing, and it's not working very well. That's it.
Well, that's
Keith paid
because
all of
you're-
his neighbors to stay off.
Right. He
Well, you go
bribed
back-
them with coffee.
Bitcoin.
Oh, he was desperate because, as I said before, Denis flooded the zone with anti-monopoly spin. And
Oh yeah, he beat a hasty retreat, didn't he?
no, he joined from the other side of the moon in order to argue about it.
And then beat a hasty retreat.
No,
I'm just kidding. We kid.
because we
Because
can.
we care.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right.
Either
So are we going to do another show this year?
Next week,
That'll be at Christmas. Are you kidding me?
well, maybe we should. We're probably the only people we'll see at Christmas.
Yeah.
I don't plan on seeing anybody. I don't want anybody coming into my house. So
Hell, I'm going to be totally alone.
oh,
The way things are going right now, I'm going to be alone.
Yeah, we should do a show. It's probably a public service.
Give everybody a reason to have
oh,
something.
we can
to
have
do.
a holiday party. How about a holiday party? A Gillmor Gang holiday party.
why not? I
Yeah.
just had a Festivus Zoom thing yesterday.
What is that? What is that? A Seinfeld episode?
Yes.
You did something with a poll?
The poll, the feats of strength with the poll, and then the airing of the grievances is my favorite part of Festivus. So
Absolutely.
That's our show.
This got aired.
That's, wait a minute. That's our show.
That's right.
All right. So have we only have what, 12 days till Christmas?
No, it's a week from today.
Yeah, it's a week.
And then
12 days of Christmas.
and then, yeah, exactly. And then there's New Year's, and then it's 2021.
Got to be better than 2020.
And then
And
there's
then,
January 5th.
January
That's
5th.
That's
And
the
isn't-
new holiday.
Isn't
It's
the,
It's January 20th.
and then there's
No,
January
New
6th,
Year's
though.
Day.
Wait a minute. Doesn't the Congress have to, isn't the
They do
6th
something.
the magic date for Congress, and the 5th the magic date for Georgia? And then the
Yeah,
20th,
that's it.
yeah.
No.
and
Georgia, for all Republicans, the Georgia vote is on the 6th.
That's right.
Yeah.
Mm,
Okay. I want to thank,
I thought it was a freeze. I was going, well, not again.
this whole show for me has been like, basically,
a freeze.
I've enjoyed it, by the way. I like it when I don't have anything to say, and neither does anybody else.
It's like the end. Wasn't it the end shot of every episode of Police Squad, where
Oh,
They do the freeze.
freeze frame.
they do the phony
Come on.
freeze,
Except for the chimp doesn't freeze. Yeah, that I love that.
or the coffee doesn't freeze.
Yeah. That's what the
Okay.
CRM players are modeled off of that, by the way. Anyway.
That's a great show.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Bring it back.
I want to thank Tina Chase Gillmor, our producer and director.
Oh, thank you.
Yay.
I
Yes.
want to thank,
Yay.
in order of their lack of appearance here, Keith Teare. Thanks, Keith.
Jolly good.
Somebody else. Oh, Frank Radice.
Yeah.
Can
His
hear
name
him.
drop.
Oh, there he is. That was good. I like
What
that.
happened?
That effect. No, he's just
I didn't
controlling the
catch him,
vertical
though.
and the horizontal.
Yes,
Quick
because I
way
can.
There's
I want to thank Michael Markman
Thank you. Thank you all.
and Dennis Pombriant. What a trooper.
Trooper. Thank you all
Starship.
for a wonderful year. It's been illuminating, enlightening, and entertaining.
Okay, well, I
Starship
hope
Trooper.
so. Brent Leary, you are amazing, sir.
Are you?
Here.
Oh,
Here.
well, yeah. I'm waiting for the punchline, but yeah, thanks. No, this has been fun. This has been this is my first full year as a gangster. I made it.
woo.
You
Well,
guys weren't too rough on
actually,
me.
you get credit for 2 years this year because 2020 just completely sucked.
I bet we've done as many shows this year than you've done in a couple of years combined.
I think that's true. Ever
Yeah.
since we went to this regular pattern of pretty much every week.
It's
Yeah, that's a
good.
pattern.
It's
That's a pattern.
It's good. Yeah, that would be a pattern. It's very good. It gives you an opportunity to actually, point at something and market it and try and grow the audience. I think it was a great decision, and it's helped a lot. I think it's also given us. I would say I'm not going to speak for everybody, but we all read a lot. We all see a lot. We know what's going on, but it gives us something to point at every week in terms of things that we want to discuss. Certainly when you say, Steve, okay, who wants to discuss what? Pretty much everybody's got something that they want.
We
to
already
discuss.
know what we're interested in. That's the tribute to the back channel, to the Telegram stream in particular.
To the Telegram stream, yeah.
And that's also available, by the way, on Twitter on the @Gillmor Gang, whatever that's called, mention
Handle.
Thank you. And someday, perhaps on the Substack.Gillmor or GillmorGang.Substack newsletter, which right now we've got a show from the last show is teed up, and a bunch of things from the Telegram channel that and some that weren't on the Telegram channel that we've been kind of orbiting around. Particularly a really interesting article about the making of Mank by this director David Fincher, I think his name is.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Yeah.
speaking of the 6K, he shoots in 6K so that he can digitally manipulate the effects, the feeling of the scene.
He also doesn't just shoot in 6K. He also shoots in like 120 frames per second. So he ends up giving an awful lot of material to be able to manipulate. And so at the higher frame rate and in the higher K rate, whatever you call that, resolution rate, it gives you tons to do in the editing room that you wouldn't normally be able to do.
And it's subtle. It's, the great thing about special effects is if you don't notice them, which dovetails with the discussion about the Mandalorian techniques that Michael and Frank were talking about, or Michael was talking about it. Frank was attempting to talk about it.
Bandwidth constraint.
I have I mentioned this friend of mine a couple of times, David Snyder, who did the art directing for Blade Runner, the original movie. And he is always talking about how that was done with real props, and how Ridley Scott would say, "Hey, let's put some smoke back there and build me another pylon and put up. I want a giant fan and I want the lights to be shot behind it." And they would go and make it out of gaffer's tape and big pieces of plywood, things like that. and how we've gone from that to this Mandalorian technology with shooting in sometimes 8K, and now even, you know, if you're doing a VR, you're shooting in way more than 8K, 16K, 32K, and at 120 frames per second or more. It's just so much you can do nowadays, and so that it's not just CG anymore. It's gone way beyond that.
But, you know, I should add that Mandalorian uses a lot of practical effects and a lot of practical props.
Yeah,
The baby is not a CG character, it's a puppet.
right. Gogol. That's not a spoiler.
Gugo.
Go.
Grugo.
Yeah.
His name hasn't quite.
Grugo.
Grugo.
Yeah.
Grogu.
Grogu. That was it. Yeah.
So thanks to Dennis Pombriant, who disappeared. Thanks
Yeah, I'm getting ready to
to everybody who showed up, and especially those who didn't. We'll see you again probably in the next decade.
Oh,
Isn't it 2021? Isn't it the
Oh.
beginning of the decade?
yeah,
Yes.
I guess.
Yeah.
It is.
All right.
If we
Bye-bye.
do a show, just send us all a note. We'll see you. Chow mein.
We'll be in
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
You dropped the stream?